right, welcome back, everybody, for some members first content. Members will get this as soon as I'm done recording this on Sunday evening, and everybody else will have to wait until Monday night to check out my Wednesday watch list, which is my look ahead to the new books coming out this Comic Book Wednesday, August 9th, 2023. Some of these books are already selling at a bit of a premium, but a lot of these are books that I'm just keeping my eye on. Some cool covers, incentives, some homages, some just cool stuff that I'm tracking, and a bunch of it I'm also going to buy. So I'm just giving you my quick look ahead to this week's new releases, as I do every week. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else on the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel as we are on our way to 3K. And yeah, if you want to see what books I got for you on my watch list for this Wednesday, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro and I will be right back. All right, so for this week, we will start off with the Buzz books. So these are some books that are coming out. They've already got some interest and a lot of the community talking about them ahead of their release this Wednesday. The book that I'm first bringing up here is Amazing Spider-Man number 31. I already kind of previewed this a little bit on the TAC show last Wednesday. It's kind of an early look ahead to my look ahead. But this book features Mary Jane Watson taking over the role of Jackpot. Remember when Jackpot was first introduced, everybody thought it was MJ to begin with? Well, now it actually is MJ. So she first appears as this new superhero, new superhero for her, MJ's Jackpot, basically. So MJ's Jackpot in this issue 31 of Amazing Spider-Man. Plenty of covers on this one, including, we knew she's come back already. We've already got her return as a mutant, Ms. Marvel. So there's a Ms. Marvel negative space JTC cover on this ASM 31 for some reason. But there's that. There's also a bunch of other covers, including a Greg Land, which is pretty cool, with Black Cat, as well as a George Perez Hidden Gems. I feel like they're grabbing any old sketchbook thing that George has done, and they're just throwing it on covers these days. Yeah, which is fine. But with that, these are all regular ratio or just cover price type variants, and I believe this is a pretty expensive book to begin with. But there are incentives as well, including a 1 in 25 virgin versions of those others for 1 in 50 and 1 in 100, etc. Not coming out this week, but we already know they are coming, and I mentioned this on Wednesday as well, is this hasn't even come out yet, but they've already got second prints coming for them. I would have put this in the not great section, but it is what it is. So it's adding to, I guess, the buzz for this because there's already store exclusives for the second print. Store exclusives for the second print. So there's 2 covers, mind you. Not even one, just the one cover, which is another ASM 300 knockoff. Like, we need that, but it's got Jackpot on it. But there's also another second print cover that you can get with that kind of magazine style. It kind of fits MJ, and we've had all those Hellfire Gala type variants as well, so it's kind of topical, I guess. Regardless, as you might guess, there will be an incentive virgin version as well, a 1 in 25 second print incentive. But with store exclusives coming for the second print as well, there's probably going to be plenty of that incentive around. So those things are going to keep selling as long as you guys keep buying them. I don't know. I'm just sick of seeing second print, incentive variant. I'm waiting for that third print incentive variant. We gotten that yet? I don't think so. But regardless, don't want to whine about that stuff. Another thing that I think is hitting the kind of buzz for weird reason. Why everybody's talking about the third print hitting FOC when the first print and second print haven't even come out yet. But be that as it may, the book I'm talking about, and I also kind of previewed this on Wednesday as a part of our look ahead because I thought this looks cool, and I did actually make sure I ordered it so I'd get this cover here. This is the cover A. This is from Oni. The book's called Dwellings. It's got kind of that Harvey kind of throwback, but mixed with horror kind of vibe. So what it is, it's going to be, I think it's like a $10. Yeah, it's a $9.99 cover price. It's like a 72-page, like oversized kind of thing. 2 full comics or 2 full stories inside. Looks kind of cool. Multiple covers on this. I got the A. I'm also getting the D cover, which is this one, because it just looks like an American traditional tattoo. Thought that was kind of, actually, it looks kind of like a Japanese tattoo, not American traditional. But I don't know, maybe a mixture of both. Looks kind of cool to me. There's also a B and C cover as well. I don't know. We'll see what happens with these. But interestingly enough, these aren't up on Midtown anymore. Don't know why. So I don't know if this has gotten delayed. I've seen people list them as they already have these in hand. So I don't know what's going on with this book. But if there are any delays, uh, we'll see what happens. I did already hear rumors that cover A and D, the two that I bought, are being allocated. So we'll see what happens there. I don't know if they got shorted or orders, or just they don't have enough to go around for the orders, whatever it may be. I heard there's allocations going to be done once this book does come out, which is supposed to be this Wednesday. But like I said, I looked on a bunch of online resources and a lot of them don't have it up anymore. I don't know. It's because maybe they're sold out, or I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens come Wednesday. But the other interesting thing to note on this is that there is a 1 in 10 incentive variant on this. There's a bloody version of the cover A. Did not order this. Kind of wish that I did. Because one, it looks pretty cool. And two, well, it's already selling for a little bit. Granted, only one pre-sale so far of about $40, but that seems to be the asking price right now. There are only a few up. I think there were 4 or 5. But they're all around like 40, $50 for this 1 in 10. $10 cover price. I don't know. Don't know how easy it's going to be to find. So if you're interested, there it is. This is only going to be a 3-issue sort of mini. So there will be bloody incentive variants to come on issues 2 and 3. And as I mentioned, FOC talk, because the FOC is hitting for the third print. I know I should probably do an FOC show, but that's just looking too far ahead. Then I'll get confused and bored by the time things actually come out. I like being excited by the new Wednesday books. I like being excited about doing this list. If I start looking at this stuff a couple of months ahead, it's not going to be as fun to me anymore. So maybe it's a jealous, or not jealous, selfish version of why I don't do an FOC show. Plus, there's plenty of them out there. You guys can watch everybody else do the FOC stuff. That said, second print, I think, is also coming with the first print. Pretty cool cover here as well. But yeah, from what I can gather, this is being released on the 9th as well. So yeah. And then, as I mentioned, the third print here, which is a recolored version of that cover A, is on FOC to be coming in September, I believe. So got about a month before this will actually come out, but that seems to be the talk going around right now. So with that, I'm going to hit you up with my personal reading list. These are just things that I plan on reading, putting at the top of the pile once Wednesday hits. Just the stuff that I'm interested in. And that is why it's on my reading list. You guys could make suggestions. I know there's plenty of stuff that I need to be reading, so feel free, comment down below on things I need to be adding to the reading list on a monthly or weekly basis, however often the book comes out. But give me a heads up on some stuff I should be checking out. That said, the new book I want to check out, also mentioned on the Tack Show on Wednesday, is the Children of the Vault mini. I don't know, kind of curious where they're going to go with this. For all intents and purposes, there's only a 5-issue mini for now. Maybe we see more of these characters. I don't know. I talked about them in Dollar Bin Digging last week because their first appearance is still pretty cheap. But they're getting a mini. Who knows how much more we'll get beyond that. But I kind of want to check it out. I want to see where we're going in this new Fall of X, new status quo for the X books. I still am an X-Men fan, regardless of how far behind I've gotten in my reading of all the books. I'm still a fan, so I still want to know the new direction. And I'm going to be checking out all the new series as they start rolling out because, well, that's what we do. As X fans, that's what we do, even when we lax. This is the cover A. There is a cover B. I'm not going to show you the Ms. Minutes cover. We'll get to that later, but there's a Ms. Minutes variant as well for this. And there is a 1 in 25 that has Cable and Bishop on it as well, if you're interested. It's not selling at a premium or anything like that, so I'm not giving you any pricing. But this is going to help us roll right into our not great section because, as I said, there is a Ms. Minutes covered on that book, which is why I have that in my not great section, because I don't understand why we need 8 different Ms. Minutes variants. It's just being overdone. It's just can't you let a good thing just be good without just beating everybody over the head with it. Hey, Ms. Minutes, let's give you. It was bad enough they gave us all those second prints, third prints, and incentives on those second prints of those timeless variants. But now, do we need just to have random Ms. Minutes covers on other books? This one right here is for the Ghost Rider Wolverine book because, well, why not have a Ms. Minutes cover on Ghost Rider Wolverine Weapons of Vengeance #1? And then we also, like I said, have that Children of the Vault getting one as well. Don't know why, but we're getting them. And I don't really care for it. Nor do I care for the art here. Again, talked about it already on Wednesday with the guys, but I'm not trying to run down legends. I'm just pointing out the fact that some of this stuff, in my opinion, is just not great. This is just not great. It's the same pose we've seen. Thing did it. Daredevil apparently is doing it. This squatting, pooping, lunging pose. I'm just not into it. It's just not for me. It's a far cry from the good stuff from back in the day. That's all I'm saying. But if you like it, go for it. If you really like it, well, go ahead and get that Virgin version 1 and 50, I guess. Once again, I'm not giving the pricing information on it because it's not selling as of yet. Who knows what'll happen? It's just to me, I'm not into this. It's just not like it's not great. That's all. It's not great. Don't want to belabor the point, but just don't like it. But that's all. That's all. I'm not gonna keep going with this. I'm not trying to talk bad about the comic, market in general. I'm generally a positive guy, so that's all we have in the not great section. So let's roll on over to the later print section, which is actually very light this week. Very light. There is a Werewolf by Night facsimile for issue 33, which is the second appearance of Moon Knight. There's a facsimile coming out, so if you're interested, go ahead and pick that up. And there is a second print for Ultimate Invasion, and there is no incentive for it. It's just a second print. Again, you missed out. You want to read it? This is your opportunity. Not a bad cover. Kind of like it. But there you go. That's all we got. That's it. That's all we got for the later printing section this week. Right? Also on the lighter side, the homage section. Homage, however the appropriate way to say it is. This section also isn't that long of a list. But first one, many homages on these North Valley Grimoire books, but this is pretty fun. I mean, yes, we've seen it before. It's not new, but it's a pretty good one for one kind of representation of that Pulp Fiction, right? It is what it is. You see it. I mean, you saw it right away, but there you go. When you put the two together, you see they did a pretty good job there. But again, I know it's been done before. Whatnot has done a ton of these homage covers. It could get a little wearing, over time, like just enough. But hey, sometimes if you like it, just buy it. I mean, it's up to you. I don't know. I think I ordered this one just because it's what I do. I don't know. But another interesting one is actually from AWA, The Madness. This is a new book they got starting, a new number one, and they've got this Black Flag homage. So little album cover, CD cover thing going on here. Also pretty cool. And nice little fit there with I guess the content as well as the art. Yeah, looks pretty good to me. So keep an eye out for that one if you are interested in that as well. Also, quickly mentioned this on Wednesday that Captain Marvel, the Dark Tempest book, where we found out that Nitro is the big bad of the series. Pretty interesting little homage to his first appearance from that Captain Marvel number 34 from back in the 70s there. But there you go. I mean, like I said, pretty good one for one matchup there. But, old Marvel, current Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. So, yeah, kind of cool. Also on the cool side, even though it looks like a mixture of the cover as well as the X-Men action figure, cases, is Immortal X-Men number 14. I know it says Uncanny X-Men there, but it's Immortal X-Men number 14. This is the 1 in 25 incentive variant, and it is, pretty obvious Vision first appearance there for Avengers 57. So, yeah, pretty cool. The way they, again, one for one kind of matchup with all the other characters and the pose, etc. So, kind of like it. And this one actually is starting to move a little bit above that ratio mark of 25. 1 in 25. You can see some copies sold for $30 thereabouts over the last couple of weeks, and even the last day or so. Was it August 6th? Actually, was that today? Okay, so one sold today for like $30. And then asking prices, all I could find right now was one looking for 65. That's 4 watchers, and then there's that Comic Biz auction. We see those often here, and it's starting bid at 637, which I think is 5.99 US probably, or I'm sorry, 5.99 pounds. So when they auto convert it to USD, that's why it's got that oddball number. Like if you ever wonder, it's currency conversion usually. But that's all that's up there right now. I do think places like Midtown still have this available, but it is asking above ratio. I want to say like 27, maybe even 36, but I don't know. But up to you if you're interested. I kind of like it. I don't know if I really want to pay up of ratio for it though. This would be a solid $15 pickup for me, maybe 20 bucks. I don't know. I like it. Don't know if I love it. So we'll leave it there. Next section, I thought about cutting it this week because actually there are not that many covers this week. And with Night Terrors winding down, I don't know how much longer we're going to have the creepy cover section here on the Wednesday watch list. But there were a couple, so I felt like, all right, let's keep it again for one more week, even if all the covers here may not be technically creepy. But with that, let's start off with this first one. I think it's a pretty cool cover. I kind of like this dead man. I like that it's white, ghostly. I dig it. So we've got that one. And this is on Night Terrors #3. So of the main title of the series. This is issue 3, and I think there's only 4 issues, and then we're gonna get like a final wrap up, like an Omega issue of some kind. But issue 3 is right here. We are also getting one of those blacklight, neon colored books. You remember that first one had the Error edition. These seem to be selling out. People seem to like getting these. I like getting these because it's different. So I do have the first 2 as well as the Error of the first one, and I'll probably be grabbing this one as well to kind of finish out the run if they keep making them. So pretty cool there. Also pretty cool, and I think I mentioned this on Wednesday. I know maybe I shouldn't do this stuff on Wednesday, and then I'm double dipping and talking about it twice, but the 1 in 25 for this book is also a pretty fun homage that I could have put in the homage section, but I felt like we needed more books in the creepy section, so I let this one sit here. So Night Terrors 3, we got Batman instead of Wolverine, but I get it. Not bad. Kind of like it. This thing already is moving. I don't think this will be hard to find because, again, it is a main event title for DC, so I think plenty of places are ordering, and plenty of places are ordering 25 copies. There's a 1 in 50. There's also a 1 in 100. Not selling and also not terribly interesting covers, so not going to bother. But the 1 in 25, you can see here, selling right around ratio. There were a couple of early sales, $40, $50. But the most recent ones are only hitting around ratio. So we'll see what happens come Tuesday. Not Wednesday, but Tuesday, since it's DC and Lunar. So they release on Tuesday. But asking prices are in that mostly in that $25 range, but there are some higher, like $70, $50 ones out there. So I wanted to show that as well for the asking. We'll see what happens, as the week rolls on, but just something to keep an eye on. Another book, Robin. Pretty cool. Hand coming out of the grave with the crowbar. You know what he's referencing. So Night Terrors Robin, #2. Pretty cool cover. This is just the cover A, I believe. There's another cover here with this crazy I Am Legend vampire style huge gaping mouth. It's like the bad CGI from the Mummy. Remember the original Mummy? Reminds me of that too, but still creepy. See that huge jaw, still messed up. Get Castlevania vibes with the castle in the background, but kind of cool. Also, Night Terrors Robin #2. I dig this skull on the Green Lantern. Pretty well done. And let's get the hand. It looks like the, I don't know if it's a black hand coming out of there, but it's Perillo. So pretty solid Perillo there as well on the Green Lantern Night Terrors #2. And there is, there's Flash, but there wasn't really anything great on the Flash covers or the other Green Lanterns that I loved. But the 1 in 50 for this Zatanna, and I thought about there was a regular cover that was okay, but I just jumped to the 1 in 50. The 1 in 50 for the Zatanna, Night Terrors #2 is already selling. It's already selling. It's pretty good. Not great, but like I said, still creepy with all those eyeballs and the extra little legs there coming out of her back. But a couple copies already sold. One for 80 and August 3rd, 127. 1 in 50. It's like, okay. And August 5th was on the that $80 sale. There's only one up right now, and they're asking $250. Sold out a lot of online places already, so unless you pre-ordered it, probably not going to be able to scoop it up at most online retailers yet. Some don't release right like pre-sale that early. You got to wait till books drop, like My Comic Shop, for instance. You got to wait. When they have copies, they'll hit, so you can take a shot. But this is one that also already seems to be moving at a premium, so one to keep an eye on as the week rolls on. Covers. All right. Got plenty of covers for us to talk about here. Just regular old covers. I still like this Delato on the Contest of Chaos. It seems to be going through this annuals. This is the Spider-Man annual. Looks like there's going to be a bunch of annuals, and there's going to have like a storyline like they used to do back in the day. Remember they used to do all the annuals, and they'd have some overarching story that may not have been great. Some were good, some weren't. Who knows? So we'll see how good this one is. But this cover is pretty cool with Wolverine and Spider-Man. That George Perez Wolverine would have made a lot more sense on this book than the Amazing Spider-Man annual last week. Just saying. You know, the weird portrait one? You remember what I'm talking about? That would have made more sense here, considering this is a story of Wolverine and Spider-Man. Through the whole thing, I think. At least that's how it's kind of being set up. Anyway, let's move on to Avengers. Mark Brooks got another corner box variant. Like I said, I dig these. I like them. So I'm going to keep my eye on this. Avengers 4 has this corner box Brooks variant. Kind of fun. And there's also a connecting cover start for Alex Ross. So this is just going to be one of the pieces. I don't have the full image here right now. We'll get to it. I'll show you it once we get a couple more. I think it's going to be 4 covers, kind of like he's doing the X-Men one with the Jim Lee. This is just going to be a huge Avengers kind of piece portrait kind of thing. 4 covers scattered across a couple of books. Things like Uncanny Avengers got one, etc. We'll get to those as they roll out over the next couple of weeks. I'll keep an eye on them. But this is the first one, I believe, for the Avengers. And it's on Avengers 4, which also has a sketch version on the 1 in 100. So there is a 1 in 100 raw sketch version. I know. We got tons of the timeless ones, and nobody was buying them. Apart from the Spider-Boy one, you know, because the first Spider-Boy. But nobody really cared for all those 1 in 100s with these sketches. By and large, for the most part, right? But we'll see what happens with this one. Already, there was a pre-sale of $100. So right around ratio, a little above. August, what is that, 3rd? I don't know, within the last couple of days. One did sell for a touch above ratio, and the asking prices are $125, $175. So we'll see if they get those marks, or if this is again going to be another $50 book like a lot of those timeless 1 in 100 sketches are. This is a lot more characters on it. I think there's going to be a bit more interest than those one character pieces, because then you're really relying on people loving whatever that one character is. Like, I'm the biggest Kang fan, or, you know, whoever, Scorpion, whoever he was featuring on those books. I think that kind of limited the audience. Whereas this group shot, it might only limit the audience in the sense that you got to get all, like, people are going to feel pressed to get all 4. That's all. But we'll see what happens. Moving on, let's get to the incentives. Our final section for the Wednesday watch list for this week. Let's see what incentives are coming out. You know, I like variants. I like collecting the incentive variants. So I like doing this section because I like saving it for last because it's not for everybody. Starting off, Opus is giving us another Nintendo box. I didn't bother giving you put in the homage section and giving you get it right now, right? But still pretty cool. It's San Julian Dragon Queen, San Julian, you know, legendary artist from back in the day with all those Conan, Vampirilla type stuff. Granted, this is 8-bit, so it's not really a San Julian, but that's what we're calling back to with the Dragon Queen. But nice NES cover box, you know, example here. An artist I haven't talked about in a while here. It's Selena. I think that's how you say her name. Selena. It's just like the one name. It's like Cher, but gorgeous artwork. The problem I don't talk about her art is mostly her books are on Dynamite books, which this is. And there are so many covers that I just get worn down and bored and buried in the minutia of all the covers. This, for instance, this is a 1 in 15 Virgin version. It's only, I think it's listed for like $9 in a few places. So it's not selling for a premium, but it is a gorgeous piece of art. There is a cover price version as well here that has the trade dress on it. Again, it's Barbarella. The center cannot hold, issue 5. But again, there's like 20 different covers for this thing. And there's a couple other good ones as well. And then there's cosplay covers and sketch covers. It's just exhausting trying to go through all of the variants for Dynamite, which is why I skip them a lot of times. It's just too much. It's too much. That said, an interesting book coming out of AWA is going back to that the Madness book. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But there is a 1 in 20 Mohawk version. I kind of like it. Has a little bit of a callback to that Tech Joker cover with the bats. But here we're getting just pieces like flowing off of her here. That bright yellow Pops Virgin cover. There is a regular version, but it's not a 1-for-1. It's a red here with the trade dress, and the hairstyle again is different. It's not the Mohawk version, but this is the AWA cover for number 1. Aiko, I believe, did this cover, if I'm saying the name right. But it's It's gorgeous. You can get this one too. This is a regular version, and then the other's the 1 in 20. The 1 in 20, I didn't see any pre-sales as of yet, and I could only find a single ask, and it wanted $45. So there's an ask out there for more than double ratio. So again, something to keep an eye on. May not be something that is as plentiful as one might think. It is a smaller publisher. AWA did come out swinging right off the bat, but I think over time they've kind of become more of a little niche, kind of like Vault and Scout, etc. Just on the smaller end of the publishing scale. They're not DC, they're not Marvel, they're not even Image, but we'll see. I know they've done some good stuff. I've read a lot of their books, and I'm kind of interested in this one. This cover's definitely got me interested too. That said, you guys know I like Godzilla, so I keep an eye on these Godzilla books. This is the 1 in 25 for Godzilla Here They Be Dragons. It's not as cool as the one for issue 1. This is issue 2, but it is worth looking into, yeah, if you're into it. So there's your Godzilla. There is a 1 in 10 version, I believe, as well, but this is the highest incentive at the 1 in 25. Speaking of 1 in 25, I like this one. It's a Wildcats book. You guys know I'm a Jim Lee fan, so I do have a special place in my heart for Wildcats. But there's something about this Ladytron cover. I don't know this artist. The name was unfamiliar to me. I can't think of it even right now, but I like this. I like this a lot, actually. And Wildcats 10, can't imagine there's going to be a lot of these out there. So if this artist does hit and I see some talent here, this could be a book that people go back and look for, down the line. So yeah, take a look. And again, if you know the artist, shout them out. If you know more about them, please share. Because like I said, I just saw this coming out this week. Unfamiliar name. I like the art. I'm going to start digging into it and see more about them. But this looks pretty cool to me. So yeah, so I've put it on the list. I just like the design of this Titans one too. This is World's Finest Teen Titans number 2, 1 in 25. It is on its side, so I'm going to turn it here so you guys can see it a little bit better. And you see they're all kind of spelling out Titans. Yeah, it's kind of fun, a little different. It's not selling for anything, so you could probably get this for cheap if you're interested in it. I just thought it was kind of cool, so I dropped it in here. Also kind of disappointed in this next book. This is Harley Screws Up the DCU number 6. Reason why is because all of the other covers were homages that were very familiar to old DC like type books. This, she's just eating cereal. Bitcoin. I mean, sure, this might call back to some of those Nakayama cereal box covers. I don't know, but this doesn't immediately make me think of another book. So if I'm missing it and I'm missing the homage here, please share it down below in the comments or in the live chat if you're watching this live with me on Monday night. But I just, all the other ones were kind of cool, like homages. Like, oh, look at that, it's on Brave and the Bold. Oh, let's check that out. So with this, the Muhammad Ali, or was it Muhammad Ali, or the Spider-Man Superman crossover, things like that. I don't know. But not that I have anything against this cover. Like I said, I'm just a little disappointed they didn't stick with the theme as far as I know. But I think this is a Dan Panosian, if I'm not mistaken. Still a pretty cool cover, and people still seem to be interested in it because, it's selling for a little above ratio, 25 to 30. So asking prices, there are some in the $50 to $70 range right now. We'll see if they get that. It seems a bit optimistic to me, but who knows? We'll see what happens. Something to keep an eye on. Also, keep an eye on this next book. This is another Rose Besh. It's not my favorite. Again, I feel like she's hit and miss with some of these covers, but this is a Photon cover on that Captain Marvel Dark Tempest, which we've already talked about the book, but this is the cover price version of it that you can get if you're interested for issue 2. But there is a 1 in 50 version of this as well. And this book, it's pre-selling a little bit. So 50, 45, so right around that ratio mark. But the asking prices right now, ahead of time, fishing for 120, 140, and then we got our Comic Biz auction rolling there. If you're interested, we'll see how this shakes out, but I feel like, again, these are fishing prices, hoping for a bit more on what could be a harder to find high ratio incentive, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with the prices as the week rolls on. There is also a 1 in 100 coming that is this hidden gem cover by George Perez. Yeah, solid cover. Once again, the background here helps. Like a lot of the other ones, the backgrounds have been very, very bland. Like that Spidey we just looked at, just the white, and then last week's Wolverine portrait with the that orange brown just hue. It just kind of makes them feel so kind of blah. This helps a little bit with the starry background, I think. There is, as I said, a 1 in 100 virgin version of it. So we'll see what happens with this one. Right now, didn't see any pre-sales on this 1 in 100 as of yet. And I only found one listing that's asking for just a touch over the ratio at about 115. So once again, we'll see what happens. I don't know how many copies of this book is getting ordered, so we don't know how many of these might be out there, or if there's going to be a huge interest in this book because some of these hidden gems could be pretty limited in the audience that's looking for them. Let's just say it that way, to put it nicely. Because there's some cool ones from back in the day, like some of the Kirby ones and Ditko, I believe. There's been some cool hidden gem covers, but not all of them hit because they're just kind of slipped in there. But that all said, another book you might want to keep an eye on the Star Wars side. I put this in on Wednesday for Marco as a joke, but Max Rebo, he's getting his one shot. This is the regular cover if you want to get the regular cover version of that Ryan Brown. I think it's Ryan Brown, right? Has he been doing these? I think so. Sorry, losing my train of thought as we roll on. But there is a 1 in 100 of that as well. Virgin version. That we've had the Ewok, we had the Lando. A bunch of these sold for huge, premium. See what happens here. A couple of pre-sales to report. One way back in June, pre-sold for $290. I mean, I don't know. It could have been a best offer, except then it's not showing it. I don't know. That I'm just showing what it shows is sold. And there was one for 140. Also, a long time ago. What was that? June 27th. So also a long time ago. No recent pre-sales. Maybe because the asking prices are pretty high. Look, $172, $300, $290. There's two other copies listed right now, and they're both also in that kind of like $250 to $300 kind of range. So just very high asks for this 1 in 100. I get it. There might not be a lot of them, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm spending $100 on this, let alone 300. So you guys do what you want. I'm just going to keep an eye on it and see what happens. It's kind of fun. And it does look like those are legs and not feet on this cover. I get it. I'm just saying in the actual movie, that's just a dude's arms, not feet. That said, moving on. Our final book, going back to that Ghost Rider Wolverine book. I didn't have it in any other section. Well, no, we did have it. I don't know. We had it somewhere else early on, but we do have incentives. We have this Perez Hidden Gem. Pretty cool. Classic kind of Wolverine. No pre-sales on this 1 in 100 for this book. But a couple of asking prices, looking for 200 and 225. We'll see if they get it. I don't know. It's kind of a tall order there, but we'll see. Especially when they had a 1 in 100, that's not even the highest incentive. Okay, let me show you these two books. There are trade dress versions of these as well. I didn't bother getting those pictures for you. They got the trade dress in black and white. Pretty cool, but if you want the virgins, there's a 1 in 200 Ghost Rider logo here. No pre-sales as of yet, but the asking prices on this 1 in 200, $449.09, $449, and $255. Well above ratio. Well, 255 is just a little bit, but still, those are some big asks. And there's a couple more, I think. Not many more, but a couple more. So, steep. If you don't think that's enough, there is a 1 in 300 that has the Wolverine claw slashes. Again, there's a trade dress version of this as well, regular cover price. But the 1 in 300 is this virgin version. This looks like it should glow in the dark. I don't know if it does, but it looks like it should. Both of these. So if it did, okay, that'd be kind of cool. But no pre-sales like the 1 in 200 yet on the 1 in 300. And as you might guess, the asking prices pretty high. 673, 250. Actually under $600. So a little under ratio and double ratio. 1 in 300s. I don't play in those. I don't play in those yards. That's just too. I get it. It's limited, but it feels too forced to me. If when you get that high of a ratio of some of those incentives, you're hitting 200, 300, 500, 1 in 1,000s, you might as well just say, well, it's limited. We only printed 50 metal covers, which again are fine, but manufactured rarity is only cool for so far. I wouldn't invest in manufactured rarity is all I'm getting at. If you really like it, you're a huge fan, I get it. Fine, spend your money on it, but I wouldn't overinvest in manufactured rarity. You know what I'm talking about, right? That's all I'm saying. So helpful advice, hopefully. But you do what you like. It's your money. It's not mine. I'm just telling you. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to watch it. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not buying either of these. It's too steep, too rich for my blood. With that said, that's all I got for you this week. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you found it helpful. Hopefully you find my look aheads each week helpful. But thank you again for all the support. Members, you guys will get this a little early. Everybody else will get this Monday night for now as we're on my summer schedule. And I'm going to try to do hidden gems for Tuesday this week. And then come back for the tax show on Wednesdays. We got another top 10 look back. We're going to pivot in a little while, but for now, having fun doing those top 10 look backs right now. So hopefully you guys are still enjoying it as we go back and look at some previously hot books and see if we should be buying them now or not. And then you guys know the rest of the schedule by now. And with that, I will see you all later with some more content. All right.